everybody. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about hiring and interview questions. Now, over the last couple of years, as we've been evolving here at Creative Works, it's been really important for us to find the right people with the right culture. That way we could build upon that foundation as we move forward and really hone in on getting the right people on the bus, not just with the skill, but with the personality and the background, so to speak. It's hard to do that though. So it's been a very difficult task at times. And one of the big things that we realized is that, when you are interviewing somebody, right, they are there putting on their best face, right? They are there with a veil up, so to speak, of, what they want you to see and what they think that you want to see. And so your goal when you're interviewing somebody is to try and pierce that veil, right? Try and see who this person really is, not just who they want you to see. One of the big things that we do is we go through the normal questions, right? What's your experience? What's your history? What are you looking for in a company? Why are you leaving your previous job? All the kind of stuff that everybody goes through. But I've actually borrowed quite a bit from a book called Tribe of Mentors with Timothy Ferriss. And so in this book, he asks, various people of fame 11 questions. And these 11 questions are really designed in this book anyways to give you a glimpse into how some of these famous people and successful people work and operate. What we've done is we've taken a handful of these questions and incorporated them into our interviews. And so I want to share a couple of those with you because they have been what allow us to kind of, again, pierce that veil of what a candidate wants us to see and allow us to see who they really are. So one of the fun questions that we love to ask is, what is an unusual habit or something absurd that they love? It's a great question because it's a phenomenal icebreaker. It gets them to think, outside of the box a little bit, and they start to try and, understand, am I going to share something that's too quirky or not? And so if they ponder too much, you make sure you hit them real fast. Like, look, I'm not looking for the PC answer. What is something just absurd or unusual that you love to do or that's about you or something along those lines? Another good question is that, hey, if you could have a billboard that would theoretically reach millions and millions of people, what would you want it to say? You could have it be a couple of words, you could have it be a paragraph, but your message would get across to millions of people. What would you want that message to be? Again, it gives you a little bit of insight into, who they are, what their goals are, what are their potential motivations, from that standpoint. Another fun one that I like to ask because it's for some reason seems to catch people off guard, and I would have never assumed that is, what is a purchase that you've made in the last 6 months for $100 or less, but that has had the most profound impact on your life? And it's funny because some of those answers you get, you're going to find out what this person values, their time, their energy, their effort, what was important to them. Sometimes you'll get spiritual answers. People will be like, well, what if it was for free? Or what if it was $200, but it made this kind of an impact? Again, you give them some latitude, but you want real answers, right? You want to understand how this really affected them. One other thing that we like to add oftentimes into our interviews is something we like to call grown-up show and tell. I highly recommend doing this. Typically, it's something you would say for a second interview, a candidate that you have some progress with and you want to get a little bit more out of. So what grown-up show and tell is we ask them to bring an item that they feel comfortable sharing, but that has great meaning to them. And sometimes they'll bring something that is work-related. Sometimes it's personal, family-related, memory of a lost one, a loved one, or maybe it's some proud accomplishment that they had in life. But again, it allows you to pierce that veil a little bit and see who they really are, what they really value. And then on top of that, I always recommend, if you have core values at your company, trying to ask questions that pertain to those core values. And here at Creative Works, for example, we have the EPIC moniker for excellence, passion, integrity, and commitment. And so we'll ask questions both directly and indirectly that give us some insight into how those values resonate with the candidate and make sure that that's, the type of person that we want to bring in here. Another, quick tip that I highly recommend is, finding some sort of testing protocol. So we like to use a company called Resource Associates. They take this test. It gives us a full personality profile. as well as some skills based on the position that you're hiring for. So they have different ones for architects, designers, retail, all sorts of other positions. And being able to use something like that can really give you some good insight on who a person is and what they're really going to be going for. So those are just some quick tips for the hiring process, and we'll talk to you soon.